So Major League Baseball has sent out a memo today. It is official that as of June 21st, substances like these bad boys right here, I was actually able to find spider tack on Amazon. I might come out with a video. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below. Testing these, I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it, but Charles Barkley, he caught wind of what MLB was doing and these new rules, and this is what he had to say.
I just want to give a shout out to Major League Baseball. I saw y'all new thing where if y'all catch pitchers cheating, you're going to suspend them from 10 days with pay. Way to stick it to those cheaters.
And they get a private jet, right?
So essentially, if you're a pitcher and you're caught using this stuff right here, what does it smell like? Hold on, let me see. What? What is this? This is not from Earth. I mean, look how strong this is. And pitchers have been using this for the last 2 or 3 years. Look! I cannot believe that this got to my house in 3 days from Amazon. Like, this is accessible to anyone. So we're gonna go ahead and break down the new rules in just a second because the community was very confused and Charles Barkley was calling out MLB. So we have to talk about why that is. But I do quickly want to talk about the update in All-Star votes because in my opinion, 5 different players are being snubbed right now. I want to use this platform for good and we're gonna try and reverse these All-Star votes because a lot of people don't know how to vote. They're doing it incorrectly. So Matt Olson, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Gene Segura, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Tyler O'Neill, and he's not on the screen, but Cedric Mullins. I need you guys to burn those 6 names into your head. Go to Google. I want you to search MLB All Star Vote, and you can actually select 3 different players. You don't have to just choose Ozzie Albies. So if you're talking about third basemen in the American League, now me, I'm a Cleveland fan, and obviously I'm going to vote for Jose Ramirez, but other players deserve it as well. So I'm going to vote for up to 3 players for every single position. This essentially eliminates the fan bias. Now we still have a fan vote, but it's no longer a popularity contest. And I think that Jazz Chisholm being in 10th place for second baseman, even though he's essentially been one of the faces of baseball to begin the season, how is that possible? So I need you guys to reverse it and go vote for the players that deserve it. And please vote for more than just 1 player at each position. All right, so before we talk about the games from yesterday, let's bring up the memo that is being enforced on June 21st, so in 6 days. So here are the rules in a nutshell. It is no longer a 10-day suspension, which I'm so happy about. It is a 10-game suspension, so teams can no longer just delay a starter's second start by 1 day, so he's going to pitch on the 6-day rest as opposed to 5, so it would only be a 1-game suspension. This is guaranteed a 2, maybe even 3-game suspension. Another small part that I want to bring up is the fact that if a player gets suspended, a team cannot call up anyone or sign anyone to fill that void. Essentially, they will be undermanned. And then last but not least, let's say that a position player, a catcher, wants to sneak some spider tack in his catching glove, so the pitcher's not going to get caught, but you're still going to add some sticky stuff to the ball with the help of the catcher. That catcher would be ejected as well as the pitcher. So it's not just the pitcher who can get yanked out the game and suspended, which is crazy to me. Now, that's all fine to me. I like this version as opposed to what was happening last night where it was a 10-day suspension and it just didn't seem like a lot. And also, a lot of people were clowning on the fact that it was essentially a 10-day paid vacation as highlighted by Charles Barkley on NBA Tonight or whatever it's called. So yeah, that's essentially what's going on in the game of baseball. We have a lot of players being snubbed of All-Star votes, and then also as of June 21st, we're gonna have the first real test to see if offense is back in business because pitchers, they're afraid to use this stuff. So obviously that was the most important update for today, so let's go ahead and run through the games that happened yesterday. First and foremost, the only walk-off from yesterday, the Red Sox versus the Blue Jays. Alex Verdugo, he hit this ball just high enough out of reach of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. You have Nathan Eovaldi going 6 2/3 shutout innings, only allowed 1 walk, and Alek Manoah has been fantastic. He only gives up 1 run in 6 innings. All-star closer, he might be an all-star. Barnes blows it as Vladdy hits his 22nd home run of the year. I mean, absolutely insane. And Rafael Devers with this walk-off base hit. But I do want to showcase Vlad. He's now #1 in the American League for batting average, and in terms of MLB leading, he's #1 in OPS, home runs, and RBI. So as of right now, he is the youngest player ever to lead all 3 categories since Al Kaline. So we might have a Triple Crown winner, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and knock on some wood because I just invested in Vlad Jr. cards, and I'm not trying to jinx him. Austin Meadows has cooled off as of late, but yesterday he heated back up, and same with Brandon Lau. They both leave the yard. A wild pitch and a squeaker scores 2 runs. So I'm thinking maybe the White Sox are going to make a comeback, especially when you consider that Tyler Glasnow had to leave the game with an elbow injury. He said he felt a pinch. They classified it as elbow inflammation, so I think he's going to be fine going forward. Hopefully, a double play and Lance Lynn got me hyped up, but Randy Arozarena, he leaves the yard, and the Rays win their 4th game in a row. They're now 24-5 in their last 29 games, and in large part because their bullpen is otherworldly. They are so good. Speaking of dominant bullpens, Cleveland has one as well, and we got some help from the Orioles defense yesterday. DJ Stewart falls, so this allows a run to score. Now, he does make a catch later on in the inning, but a run scores on a sacrifice fly. Bobby Bradley is now 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position to begin 2021. You have Nick Sandlin, the 95-mile-per-hour sidearmer, dominating. He picks up the W, and then Emmanuel Clase with his 101-mile-per-hour cutters. He gets his 10th save of the year. So a lot of people have been asking me between James Karinchak and Emmanuel Clase, who's going to be the closer? They're both the closer. They share it. Now, speaking of Cleveland, I want to bring up Shane Bieber because he will be going to the IL with a shoulder strain. A lot of people are saying that this is a cover-up because his RPM, his spin rate, dropped in 2 consecutive starts. So are they trying to take the stress off him? Are they trying to take off the coverage of his RPM dropping? Maybe. You guys have to let me know in the comment section down below because I'm sure he'd rather go on the IL than get suspended. The Dodgers improved to 7-3 in their last 10 games, and they're just 1 game back of the San Francisco Giants. Bryce Harper, he starts the game off with an RBI single, and Spencer Howard, he had a no-hitter through the 3rd, but then Will Smith, no, not from I Am Legend, Will Smith, the catcher, has 7 home runs now and a 134 OPS plus. Chris Taylor is an all-star. Let me say that. Chris Taylor is an all-star. At least he should be. 9 home runs, 35 RBIs, and a 142 OPS plus. And Kenley Jansen, he secures his 16th save of the season, and he lowers his ERA to 1.63. 2 other NL West teams I want to bring up, actually 4 more, because we're going to talk about the Rockies and the Giants game. The Rockies beat the Padres just barely yesterday. Trevor Story, he's been slumping ever since returning from injury, but he had an RBI base hit. And then Austin Gomber, the key piece in the Nolan Arenado trade, he goes 8 scoreless innings, and in 5 home starts at Coors Field where the ball flies, where pitchers and their stats go to die. He has a .95 ERA, only 1 run given up in 19 innings at home. Trent Grisham hits a huge 2-run home run, and this brings up Fernando Tatis with 2 outs down 1, but he pops up and the Padres fall to 4 games back of first place. The Diamondbacks, they lose to the Giants. This was a huge win as the Dodgers are on fire, so they stay 1 game ahead in first place. Brandon Belt drives in Donovan Solano, and Carson Kelly continues on a monster season. He ties it up. But Brandon Crawford, speaking of monsters, 15 home runs already on the season. He is putting up Fernando Tatis Jr. numbers. Obviously, not the full-fledged Fernando Tatis Jr. campaign, but he has essentially been just as good. Carson Kelly, I do want to note that he has been better than Paul Goldschmidt this year, and they were traded for each other. Alex Wood, he has 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. Austin Slater drives an RBI, and Jake McGee grabs his 13th save of the year as the Giants win 5-2. Another 5-2 victory. This one came from the Mets game. You have James McCann driving an RBI, and Kevin Pillar drives in 2 as Jake Arrieta has been struggling mightily as of late. Dominic Smith drives one over the wall for a home run, and David Peterson with his first ever 6-inning scoreless start. You have Rizzo and Patrick Wisdom going back-to-back to the Cubs. They try to make the comeback, but Edwin Diaz throwing 99 to 100 miles an hour. He has been dominant since the beginning of 2020. Cardinals versus the Marlins. This was a huge victory for St. Louis as they kind of stopped the bleeding. They improved to 2-8 in their last 10 games, and they're 5 games back of first place after being in first place for about a week or something like that. Adam Wainwright, he yells at Yadier Molina to tag Adam Duvall, who misses home plate, and it ends up working. And Mundo Sosa drives in the first run of the game, and then Jazz puts the Marlins up 2-1. Paul Goldschmidt, we just talked about him, the fact that he has not been good as Carson Kelly. Paul Goldschmidt is still really good. He ties it up. An all-star, again, in my opinion, all-star Tyler O'Neill gives the Cardinals a lead. And then Paul DeYoung, who St. Louis fans are kind of fed up with, he drives in an RBI, and Alex Reyes is now up to 17 saves already on the season. Another close game. We have the Nationals versus the Pirates. Schwarber ties it up at 1 apiece, and then Juan Soto brings in Trey Turner. I just want to mention real quick that Juan Soto has 40 walks to 33 strikeouts. He is one of the most disciplined and overall best hitters I've ever seen in my life. Kyle Schwarber hits his 4th home run in his last 4 games. You have Castro coming in clutch with a double play from third base to second to first, and then Brad Hand, he's pretty good ever since I called him out. Again, if a player is not doing that well and you need them to do well, have me call them out. It always works. He gets his 12th 12th save of the year. So the Nationals are on a 2-game winning streak, and the Reds said, okay, let's one up that. They're on a 4-game winning streak and 8-2 in their last 10 games out of nowhere. Joey Votto, this ground out RBI gives him an RBI in 6 consecutive games. Jonathan India has 27 RBIs, and Jesse Winker drives in another one. Vladimir Gutierrez retires the last 13 of 14 hitters that he faced. Joey Votto hits a home run. You have Eugenio Suarez driving in 2, and then Aristides Aquino. We have rarely talked about him over the last year and a half, ever since he had, 19 home runs in 50-something games or something crazy like that. Maybe he's going to be sneaky. Maybe he comes back with vengeance, and the Reds win 10-2. The Tigers, they lead all of baseball in home runs for the month of June, and their bullpen was really good yesterday as Miguel Cabrera, he starts it off with an RBI single on the 11th pitch of an at-bat. Nico Goodrum drives in 2 on a broken bat base hit, and Matthew Boyd, he leaves the game in the 3rd, and the Tigers had to use 9 pitchers yesterday. Harold Castro comes in huge with a 2-run home run. Then you have Nico Goodrum and Robbie Grossman both hitting moonshots, and Miguel Cabrera on this RBI base hit now is just 96 hits away from 3,000. And then the final 2 games, let's talk about some 2 AOS teams that took the victory yesterday. The A's, they stopped the Angels' 6-game winning streak at the worst time possible. If you're an Angels fan, you have to beat the A's. You have to win this series, but Sean Murphy made it pretty hard, as well as Mitch Moreland and Elvis Andrus, making it a 7-run 3rd inning. Dylan Bundy now has a 7 ERA and an almost 6 FIP to begin the season. He has been horrible. Chad Pinder drives in an RBI, and Sean Manaea almost goes 6 innings, only gives up 1 earned run, and Trevino grabs his 11th save of the season. And then last but not least, Jake Fraley will not stop raking, and to add to that, Ty France and Dylan Moore, they tie up the game on some extra base hits. And newcomer Jake Bowers, who has been all right to begin his tenure for Seattle, hits a game-winning home run for his first home run as a member of Seattle, and they win 4-3. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Let me know what you think of the brand new rules. Let me know which players do you think are getting snubbed of All-Star votes. Again, these are the 5 names that I would say are being snubbed at the moment, along with Cedric Mullins. And then also, let me know what you think of Spider Tack. I mean, again, look at this. So this is the regular Spider Tack. What I showed you earlier was the heavier. So clearly, the normal one is not going to be as sticky, and maybe we won't even use that one. But look at the Spider Tack heavy. Look at this. It legit sticks to the top. I'm going to have to get some blue tape remover because I feel like this is not going to come off the hands very easy. But yeah, this is, I cannot believe that this was allowed. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any minor league games or major league games. Save yourself 20 bucks off and enjoy this day in MLB history. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go win me a Cy Young or 2.
Milwaukee, the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and belted. Deep to right. Junior has hit number 100. My, oh my. Ken Griffey Jr. with his 100th career home run. And Billy Brewer.